Tonight, end of an era.
I'm feeling very sad, but at the same time, I understand. The building is old.
Uncertainty for next school year as Arthur Voaden Secondary shuts down. Plus, a potential mobile ban.
Cell phone use in our schools, elementary and our secondary schools, anywhere on site, has become a problem.
The provincial government considering more strict cell phone protocols. And made to order.
What we have behind us is fully autonomous robotic pizza making machine.
The London tech company and the future of hot and fresh.
CTV News with Carlyle Fiset.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Reassurance today from the provincial government. St. Thomas will get a new high school replacing Arthur Voaden Secondary when it shuts down for good at the end of this school year. However, there's still no timeline for that process. As Rita Ismail reports, many are reflecting on generations of memories ahead of an uncertain transition.
Arthur Voaden Secondary School has been a fixture in St. Thomas since 1926. But at the end of this school year, it will shut down for good.
That third floor classroom was the first classroom I ever taught in.
For Marilyn Campbell, who began teaching here in 1969, the news is deeply personal.
It was the golden era for teaching, for being a student here, for being a sports fan. We had wonderful teams. We had wonderful kids.
The closure comes as the province moves ahead with funding for a new secondary school in the city, the first new build for the board in more than 2 decades.
The Thames Valley District School Board is receiving funding for a replacement secondary school in St. Thomas. I'm particularly excited about that. Arthur Voaden, well-renowned school, is going to be replaced, and we'll be able to repurpose that school for supportive housing and many cool projects to help support the local growing community of St. Thomas.
But for many, the announcement is bittersweet. Former student Isabel Nethercott says the timing is especially difficult.
We're absolutely heartbroken about that decision. You know, it wasn't a big surprise. We were anticipating it, but we were hoping that it wouldn't happen this year. And we're just devastated.
The shutdown also disrupts plans to celebrate the school's 100th anniversary this fall, with organizers now working on an alternative.
I'm feeling very sad, but at the same time, I understand. The building is old.
The Thames Valley District School Board says the decision follows a comprehensive safety review, adding the building would require costly long-term repairs that are no longer sustainable. Parents are also concerned about what comes next, including Stacy Ron, whose daughter is currently enrolled.
She will have to be transitioned to a new school, and she doesn't do transitions all that well, so it will be challenging.
Campbell says the loss will be felt for generations.
It just seems that it would always be here, always be a place we could come back and look at, and the memories would flood back in of best friends and dances. I guess the building just decided to fail us.
Families are expected to be contacted by early May with details on where students will attend school starting in September 2026. Rita Ismail, CTV News.
Meanwhile, the education minister says the government is considering a complete ban on cell phones in schools, as well as restricting access to social media. Siobhan Morris reports.
They're omnipresent, away from school, on the way to class, and inside, even with rules against them.
They're used far too much. The kids are staring at them constantly.
Students are very, very smart and very capable, but our ability to focus has gone down collectively.
That short attention span, violence, and bullying helped along by phones are on the education minister's radar.
Cell phone use in our schools, elementary and our secondary schools, anywhere on site, has become a problem, so we are considering an outright ban of cell phones on school properties.
Right now, Ontario kids up to grade 6 have to keep phones silent and out of sight during class. Older kids can use them in the classroom when a teacher allows it. The opposition leader likes the idea of keeping phones locked up, but isn't sure keeping them out of the building will work.
Having that cell phone is a connection for parents to keep an eye on their kids and where they're at. And a lot of children, particularly here in the GTA, travel long distances to get to school or have other responsibilities like siblings.
On the street, reactions are mixed.
Don't ban totally because it's a modern society. People need to connect with people.
I didn't grow up with a cell phone, so it's good to kind of focus on the learning, get people engaged in school and not distracted by phones and social media.
I think high schoolers should be able to do whatever they want. I think if you're teaching someone to go into the world, you have to teach them to have accountability for their own actions.
Over the weekend, Manitoba's premier announced plans to ban social media and AI chatbots for kids under 16.
And I think here in Ontario, we have to actually do something about that. But you know, it comes from actually looking at the problem and trying to understand it.
Educators say that means lots of dialogue, including with students. Without it,
you're setting teachers and parents and students up for more conflict because the underlying causes are not being dealt with.
Ontario's education minister says he's watching what Manitoba's doing and that he's working with the federal government, which is considering nationwide restrictions for young people accessing social media. At Queen's Park, Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
A new poll suggests despite having no permanent leader right now, the Ontario Liberals would win if a provincial election were held today.
We haven't seen that in our liaison tracking ever, right? You know, for the last decade, you know, the PCs have been leading in the polls. They were leading even before they were elected, of course. And so this is a new trend that we're seeing, that since October, the PCs have been losing 1 to 2 points every single month. And so now they've actually just dipped low enough that they're in second place. So it's a big surprise.
The poll was conducted by Liaison Strategies. It found 35% of respondents support the Liberals. Premier Doug Ford's Progressive Conservatives were second with 33%. About 2/3 of respondents also said they disapprove of the job Premier Ford is doing, indicating they believe the province is heading in the wrong direction, while only 27% said they approved of Doug Ford's performance.
Good evening. It's been a cool one today across southern Ontario. Temperatures holding in the single digits. Showers early this morning, but the rain has tapered off. We still have some light drizzle out there this evening and a chance for rain over the next couple of hours, but mainly cloudy conditions overnight, and we're going to start to clear on out. The main system is moving by and will continue to bring rainfall to eastern Ontario. Our forecast will feature an upper level low, and that means unsettled conditions and cool temperatures heading through the rest of the week. We'll be at about 5 degrees at midnight. The winds out of the northwest continuing. And some areas in southern Ontario will dip near the freezing mark. We could even see some frosty conditions in the next few days. I'll take you through all your local weather details coming up in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Julie. Officials with the Old South Business Association are calling for more help, airing frustrations with the latest phase of bus rapid transit construction along Wellington Road. With more on their concerns, here's Brian Bicknell.
It's been dubbed the Wellington Gateway, part of London's bus rapid transit project. But for some business owners, it's the highway to heartache when it comes to the potential impact on their bottom lines.
So it's all directions. So it's killing local businesses' walk-in traffic.
Forest of Flowers Vice President Kelly Kalis says her store is part of a growing number of businesses voicing concerns about Phase 2 of rapid transit construction. Divided into parts A and B, work is now underway on reconstruction of Wellington between Watson and Wilkins, running straight through busy Commissioners Road.
So I think they'll still be able to get into our plaza, but it's going to take a lot longer to get in and a lot longer to get out. And if you're in a rush and you're trying to just stop for something quick, why would you choose a business in the middle of this?
You got to get on this now before they actually start ripping up the roads.
The president of the Old South Business Association says he's hoping mistakes won't be repeated from previous BRT construction loops.
We need to have really good access points, like proper entrances and exits, really clear signage, and we need to have real-time updates.
The complete Wellington Gateway project runs from downtown in the north side to Highway 401 in the south. The 6-kilometer stretch will widen Wellington Road, allowing for continuous rapid transit. In a statement to CTV News, the city said in part it's connecting directly with local businesses to provide advance notice about changes, road impacts, and to coordinate operational considerations like deliveries and customer access. Ward Councillor Skylar Frank says disruption in the short term will pay off in the long run.
We'll see the best frequency and reliability on our bus infrastructure along Wellington once the construction is done. So every 5 to 10 minutes, there'll be a bus coming up and down. I actually think businesses who are smart enough to invest in that area will see a higher return because there'll be more foot traffic, there'll be more people.
Brian Bicknell, CTV News.
The federal Conservative leader says the government's economic update yesterday is too vague and doesn't do enough for Canadian affordability. Mike Lecouture has more on the lack of specifics in the so-called mini-budget.
I know I'll speak slowly for the Liberal mathematicians on the other side of the House because
Conservative criticism of the spring economic update continued to focus on government spending.
More cost, more debt, more taxes, more on the national credit card, and more interest payments for Canadians.
The Prime Minister defended his plan and the government's programs.
We're building the country strong for all, including Canada's youth, the biggest investment in apprenticeships in our history.
While the economic update did detail the $5.9 billion training program, it was lacking when it came to the $25 billion sovereign wealth fund and where that money will come from. The spring update did mention unlocking the value of airports. In Montreal, the finance minister did not rule out their privatization.
There might be different type of ownership that might be providing better value for money for Canadians, because after all, it's their assets.
Information about Canada's military spending was also absent from the economic statement. Last month, Canada announced it hit the NATO target of spending 2% of GDP on defense. And Carney has committed this country to a new spending pledge of 5% by the year 2035.
We've got 10 years to get to 5%. We're only in year one, and we're moving very quickly. We've got an extra $82 billion to spend over the next 5 years. And we're going to review the spend in 2029, as are all NATO countries.
They had to put in a huge amount of money overall anyway, but that amount is getting bigger if we can keep in pace with the growth in the Canadian economy.
The Secretary of State for Defense Procurement also points out the government wants to scale up domestic military production, believing it could create more jobs in this country. Mike Lecouture, CTV News, Ottawa.
Hundreds of local researchers gathered on the Western University campus today, demonstrating the city's range of innovation and exploration. With more on London Health Research Day, here's Jerry Dewan.
More than 350 of the city's brightest young researchers gathered at Western Schmeichel Building for Entrepreneurship and Innovation, anxious to display and discuss their work.
We're trying to reduce the number of e-scooter injuries seen in pediatric emergency department.
Second-year Western medical student Nikita Berman is part of a team of 11 researchers, including 2 pediatric emergency room physicians, analyzing the health impacts of kids using e-scooters and e-bikes, with the goal of changing attitudes and possibly helping shape new policies.
What we understood through our root cause analysis is that a lot of families believe that they perceive e-scooters as being toys and not vehicles, which is what they are. And so unfortunately, they will give their e-scooter to children during Christmas or during their birthday, and we found that the first injury likely happens in the first 5 kilometers of riding.
One of the fastest growing industries is wearables for health and fitness. It's an interest of Rimsha Malik, a first-year master's student in biomedical engineering at Western. She's looking to design a wearable with a more specific aim.
The future of this device that I'm working on, the hopeful outcome would be being used as like a skin-mounted rehab patch that would help for at-home physiotherapy or recovery tracking after an operation.
Professor Nika Borodel led the organizing team for Health Research Day.
These days are an opportunity to really share and to cross-pollinate ideas, because that happens best in an environment where people are working on different things.
Borodel feels it's important to highlight the cutting-edge science being supported by the city's hospitals and academic institutes.
There's this excitement and nervousness all at the same time, and I think, I remember feeling that as a trainee coming to events like this, and I think it's just a fantastic day for them to share what they do.
London Research Day also included professional workshops and trainee presentations. Jerry Dewan, CTV News.
London could ban electric kick scooters on public roads and pathways next month or extend a pilot project with stricter rules, holding parents accountable for underage riders. With more, here's Daryl Newcomb.
What I'm still hearing a lot about is children under the age of 16.
Councillor Corinne Rahman glad council took 5 months to gather feedback about e-scooters before London decides whether to ban their use on public property or extend participation in a provincial pilot program until November 2029. Community input sessions were held earlier this year where public sentiment was split.
We heard clearly is that there's support for e-scooters, but there's also some concerns, and that's exactly what we wanted to get some feedback on.
Currently, London requires riders to be at least 16 years old, wear a helmet if they're 16 or 17 years old, travel at less than 24 kilometers per hour, and travel streets with a speed limit at or below 50 kilometers per hour. But last November, the future of e-scooters was put in doubt when several councillors said they've received numerous complaints about rule violations and dangerous behavior.
They're putting themselves and they're putting others in danger, and that's where I struggle with giving any further extension to this.
Last year in London, there were 8 reported collisions involving e-scooters, and emergency departments reported 193 injuries, including 34 that required hospital stays. According to the report, because there are still relatively few e-scooters in London, police and municipal compliance have yet to launch any sort of proactive enforcement, at least yet. City staff recommend London remain in the provincial program, but with an enhanced bylaw and penalties. The changes would include that parents would be fined for failing to ensure their child under the age of 16 isn't riding an e-scooter on municipal property.
What I'm really pleased to see in the report is that we're going to have some bylaw changes, and having some fines that would be to parents.
Rahman believes the ultimate solution lies in province-wide regulations that could potentially include licensing e-scooters and requiring insurance.
The province needs to come in and create an Ontario-wide plan with e-scooters.
London's Infrastructure and Corporate Services Committee will consider either banning e-scooters or extending the pilot project on May 6th. Daryl Newcomb, CTV News.
A London company is using robotics, bringing hot meals to new places. With more on the autonomous preparation operation, here's Lauren Stallone.
Appatronics, an automation company in London, Ontario, is using AI-driven dispensing technology to create the ultimate comfort food.
What we have behind us is fully autonomous robotic pizza making machine.
The first of its kind, this unique machine is designed to bring freshly made food to places where it is not always available.
We can drop this into a university, we could drop it into an office tower, and we provide food, in that sort of environment.
While one machine is housed here at a warehouse in London, the first customer-facing unit is located at John Glenn Columbus International Airport.
Passengers coming through the airport staff, they can come up, order their pizza, then they can watch it being made, and then they just go around the corner here to the lockers, and if on their phone, they'll get a text message. They'll come back, it'll give them a QR code and a 4-digit code that they can enter in. Once they enter that in, locker door opens up, and they can grab their pizza.
Once customers choose between pepperoni or cheese, the pizzas take approximately 6.5 minutes to make. They come out sliced and ready to enjoy.
Engineers on the project say the process to create a self-operating machine is extensive.
It starts with an idea. We'll CAD it, we'll bring it to life, and then we'll scrap it and we'll entirely redo it. Then we CAD it and bring that to life. It's a long process, lots of iterations.
Appatronics announced today they have acquired Robotic, a Vancouver-based food robotics company, adding more technology to help make a wider variety of meals.
We are working on a Mexican bowl type cuisine. Lots of work to be done, but it's really exciting.
Lauren Stallone, CTV News.
That's good.
With the 128th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft.
When we come back, an NFL takeover at Joe Cool's, the Cincinnati Bengals and their draft day festivities here in London.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We begin tonight with Ontario's latest.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. CTVLondon.ca, your home for news.
Welcome back. It's the Tee Up with Brent Lail. And Brent, it's Game 3 of the Sutherland Cup final tonight. St. Mary's Lincolns are in a hole.
Yeah, they find themselves in the same spot they were last series, down 2-0, but this time with a much tougher opponent. Coming back will be extremely difficult. Game 3 is tonight at the Galt Arena in Cambridge, where the Lincolns face the Winterhawks, who are coached by former NHLer Todd Bertuzzi. The Hawks a perfect 14-0 in the playoffs so far this year, so the Lincolns winning 4 of the next 5 against them will be a daunting task.
Obviously, you're not happy being down 2-0, but I'm much less worried this year than at times in previous years. I think the resiliency shown by this group over the season, we believe we can come back, and it's not all doom and gloom. Obviously, it sucks being down to a really good team, but like I said, I think there's things we can build on, and we have to stay positive.
Now, the Canadian Football League held its annual draft last night.
Yeah, 3 local players heard their names called in the 8-round draft by 3 different teams. The first area product off the board was London running back Liam Talbot, who went 37th overall to the Montreal Alouettes. What a grab right here for the Windsor Lancers. The SAB grad and Windsor Lancer caught the eye of scouts at the Combine when he posted the best 40-yard dash time. He scored 5 total touchdowns over 4 years with the Lancers. Queen's defensive end Stephen Capella from London South went in the 7th round, 62nd overall to the Stampeders. This past season, he had 4 sacks to go along with 27 tackles and a forced fumble. The pass rusher was a force on special teams as well. And in the 8th round, the Bombers selected kicker Brady Lidster. With a booming leg, the St. Thomas Parkside grad holds the OUA record for longest field goal at 55 yards and most in a game when he kicked 7. The first-team All-Canadian will not likely unseat Sergio Castillo, but the top kicking prospect in the draft will learn from one of the best while at Bombers camp.
Now, the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame opens for the season this Friday, and then in June, an induction weekend event here in London.
Yeah, it's a special event called the Opening Pitch, and for the past few years, it's been held in Toronto on the Thursday before the big weekend. This year, they're bringing it to London, to Toboggan Brewery in June, with legends Devon White and Fergie Jenkins among those in attendance.
Several years ago, like before COVID, we had a fundraising breakfast in London, and then we switched it up and went to evening Thursday event in Toronto, changed the title of the Opening Pitch, and it's just a meet and greet. It's a great opportunity to get up and close with the 6 inductees and other special guests like Fergie. It's the weekend just gets busier as it goes on. We have the golf tournament the next day, and then we have the induction day on the Saturday, the June 20th, and there's just so many more people at those events. This event is more intimate.
And we're counting down to a new season for the London Majors.
Yeah, hopefully the baseball weather holds up. Next week, they have a couple of exhibition games on Tuesday and Thursday. It's their annual school day events. At 11 a.m. Tuesday, they'll face Chatham. Thursday, it will be Kitchener as London gets set to play in the newly formed Canadian Baseball League. And a special honor this week for a special player. Fanshaw's Ashlyn Anderson named OCAA Athlete of the Year for her performance on the hardwood. The 6'3" dominant center is just the 2nd Falcons woman ever to win the award. Some of her accomplishments: Canadian silver medalist, first-team All-Star, All-Canadian, and she also set 3 Falcons single-season records this past season.
Now, finally, Brent, a draft party this past weekend here in London for the NFL's Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, it was an amazing time. The Bengals already have strong ties to London thanks to Chase Brown. This past weekend, they turned Joe Cool's into Bengals headquarters during the NFL draft.
I'm here at Joe Cool's with the 128th pick in the 2026 NFL draft. The Cincinnati Bengals select Connor Lew, center,
At a Cincinnati Bengals draft party, South Secondary teacher Mike Stenning announces their 4th-round pick.
It's pretty awesome. And, the fact that I played center and I got to, read the center's name out, it means a lot.
The Richmond Row Bar was packed with Bengals and London football fans as the NFL came to the Forest City. They handed out swag in the hometown of Bengals star running back Chase Brown.
A lot of it had to do with us getting the global market rights to Canada to start. Naturally, Chase Brown being our starting running back, it only made sense to start in his hometown of London. We made a connection with Joe Cools last year. We got the South Lions, who Chase used to play for here. So it's very exciting. Love to see that we have Bengals fans everywhere.
When I was a child, my dad was a big Kenny Anderson fan. We became Bengals fans. They got seasons tickets back in 1989. I never thought I'd see the day where the Bengals came to London, Ontario to celebrate.
Among those in attendance was Darren Isaac, Chase's father.
It's great for the kids. It's great for the community. Obviously, Chase and Sydney, they've come back, given back. I was never a Bengals fan until Chase was there, right? So now he's there. He's doing really well, training hard, and looking forward for this season.
This is one of the biggest things come to Joe Cools ever, and super glad with the turnout, and London turned up big to show the NFL what we got.
Stenning will remember this day forever and even got to keep the souvenir.
I got the draft card, I got the name. I think, Connor and I will be forever connected in his NFL journey.
Brent Lale, CTV News.
And Julie's on the desk with me now. Noticeable shift today, it seemed like, Julie. Some rain, cooler temperatures, and it sounds like that's kind of what we're in for through the rest of this week at least.
Yeah, our upper air pattern shifting, and that generally bode well for warm spring weather when it comes as an upper level low that's going to set up shop just north of Lake Superior. So effectively what that means is it spins cool air back into the Great Lakes, and that keeps us cool, unsettled with the chance for showers. So coming days we won't see widespread rainfall, but it'll be a forecast where we'll see passing rain. So a mix of sun and cloud, and then all of a sudden a shower will pop up. Now today temperatures on the cool side across the region, still quite cool right across southern Ontario, 9 degrees. Midwestern Ontario 7 to 9, and we'll start to see the temperatures dip a couple degrees over the next couple of hours. The main rain has moved well off to the east. As you can see, eastern Ontario will have some heavier rainfall tonight. Still some heavy showers towards Michigan. Southern Ontario, we've been dealing with some heavy rain over the last couple of hours in Grey County, but the rest of the region just some very light drizzle. Now this evening, still the chance for some showers, but the bulk of the rainfall will be easing off tonight. We've had this area of low pressure moving by to the south of us, and that's what brought the rainfall through the day today. Now temperatures will hold just above the freezing mark across most of southern Ontario tonight. We'll dip down to about +1 in Mount Forest, KW, 3 degrees in London, and 3 along the lakeshore of Huron. Now temperatures have recovered a bit in Western Canada, 13 to 15 degrees, but then we get into the cool stuff into northern Ontario, and that cool air will continue to flood us. Northwest winds over the next few days, and temperatures remain well below normal as we head into the weekend. By Sunday, though, things will start to improve. So going out 36 hours, so tomorrow morning we could see a very light shower, and then we'll break back into a mix of sun and cloud, and then heading into the afternoon, we could see a few showers as we head into Sarnia and Chatham, and then once again back into a mix of sun and cloud. So it'll be a forecast where you need to keep your umbrella handy and just be prepared. You could get caught in some very light rainfall. So what happens is we have this cool pool of air in the upper atmosphere, and the sun comes out, and then you get the daytime heating, and as a result this creates these steep lapse level rates. And what that means at the surface is the chance for showers, and that's why the forecast people will be talking about it, saying things like, what's going on with this crazy weather? We have sunshine, then a few showers, and then back to sunshine, and that'll be our weather story for Thursday and Friday. Forecast high 11 degrees, winds continuing out of the northwest. As we head into your Friday, same weather story, a bit cooler at 9 degrees. But look at the overnight lows, -3 to -5. So we're still not out of the frost risk window yet. However, this is a bit late for those temperatures to be dropping off. The growing season, of course, in this area has started. So with temperatures like that, we'll likely see some of that stunted. Mainly sunny on Saturday at 8 degrees, back up to 16 on Sunday. So that's better. And then early next week, 14 to 15 degrees with daytime highs returning to where we should be for this time of year. Midwestern Ontario, your forecast through the day tomorrow, a mix of sun and cloud. The coverage not as widespread widespread for you. You'll see a few spotty showers, but in terms of passing showers through the day, it likely won't impede your outdoor plans. Mix of sun and cloud on Friday and 9, 6 degrees on Saturday. Those overnight lows from -4 to -5, Carlyle. That is cold. Mix of sun and cloud on Sunday, and as we head into early next week, Sunday, Monday, temperatures will return to where we should be for this time of year with a slight chance for showers. So it's going to be a little bit of a cool week, but we do have some sunshine to get us through. But still, we're going to need those jackets, especially in the morning, with temperatures dropping near the freezing mark to -5 as we head into Friday, Saturday morning.
All right, Julie, thanks very much. Coming up, construction season in Exeter all summer long. The business owners on edge over the prolonged disruption.
We need you to weigh in on a parenting debate that's happening in TJ's house right now.
We're trying to determine if my 7-month-old said his first word. It was not Dada. I'm fine with it. We'll talk about it tomorrow morning at 8:15.
The Bank of Canada held its key interest rate steady today at 2.25%. Officials with the central bank say they expect the country's economy to grow at a moderate pace, adjusting to ongoing U.S. tariffs. They also warn about increasing inflation because of higher oil prices. However, they say they expect inflation to ease back to their 2% target sometime next year. There's concern among business owners in Exeter with a multi-year, multi-million-dollar construction project getting back underway. They say during phase 1 of construction, they saw double-digit revenue losses. With more, here's Scott Miller.
The huge pile of dirt sitting in the middle of Exeter's main street is today's reminder that Highway 4 through Exeter will be under construction yet again this summer.
We are under construction, so this is now sort of the second year. Our first year of construction was back in 2024, and now we're doing sort of phase 2. And next year we're going to be going into phase 3. So a lot of disruption along Main Street here in Exeter.
60-year-old water and sewer pipes need to be replaced under Exeter's main street. This summer will be phase 2 of what South Huron Mayor George Finch believes will be a 6-phase project, slowly working its way from the north end of Exeter to the south end over the coming years.
Between the province and ourselves, each section costs between $6 and $7 million or so to do. It's very expensive.
This week's work involves the closure of the main bridge connecting the north and south ends of Exeter, a headache that should be completed by Friday. During 2024's construction, Hill says Exeter's north end businesses saw revenue drop 20 to 30%, while the rest of town saw an 8 to 10% drop in customers.
When we have construction impacts like this, unlike in the cities, we aren't able to recuperate as quickly because it does take a couple of summers. So back-to-back construction is definitely a worry for many of our business owners. And the BIA is really hoping to be a part of that planning, especially for the next phase, so that we can work on some of that construction mitigation and impacts to our businesses.
Mayor Finch says he doesn't like the construction disruption either, but it is a necessary evil that simply has to happen.
If you don't replace them, they collapse, they fail. You end up with sinkholes, you end up with explosions where the pipes burst, and then you have unsafe drinking water. It just becomes catastrophic. So due diligence, good due diligence, is to fix it before it breaks. And we know we're on borrowed time with it, so let's get it done and do it right.
Phase 2 of Exeter's Main Street construction stretches from the Osable River Bridge to Victoria Street and should be complete by October. Phase 3 will begin next spring from Victoria Street to Sanders Street. The timing of phases 4 through 6 through Exeter's downtown to the southern edge of the community will depend on the availability of provincial funding, according to Mayor Finch. In Exeter, Scott Miller, CTV News.
New data shows customer complaints about phone, internet, and television services surged in the past year. Officials with the Commission for Complaints for Telecom Television Services, or the CCTS, say they received more than 19,000 complaints between last August and January, an increase of 61% compared to the previous year. 56% of all complaints were related to wireless services, while internet issues accounted for nearly 30%. Rogers had the highest proportion of all complaints, followed by TELUS and then Bell. CTV News is a division of Bell Media. Canada's main stock index was down despite strength in the energy sector. The TSX lost 266 points. In New York, the Dow dropped 280, the Nasdaq gained 9. The Canadian dollar fell a modest 0.02 of a cent. On commodity markets, gold is down almost $47 an ounce. Oil is up nearly $7 a barrel. Still ahead, generic approval. Health Canada gives the green light for a potentially cheaper version of Ozempic. Welcome back. A pair of frontline homelessness agencies have received a financial lifeline from City Hall after federal funding expired April 1st.
Sometimes when things are out of our hands from a funding perspective, we have to pivot and find a way.
Over the next year, City Hall will provide up to $350,000 as interim support for Arcade Street Mission and 519 Pursuit. That will fund continuing frontline services, including daytime drop-in spaces and outreach. The federal government has announced a new federal program is coming, but no timeline for distributing those funds has been made public. A controversial development on Commissioners Road will see 4 high-rises built near London's largest environmentally significant area.
This council needs to do better to protect the environment. This is a failure of policy.
We actually have to be pragmatic here and recognize the history of the site and what's allowed to be developed on it.
As Mayor Josh Morgan explained, current zoning would permit light industrial development on the entire property, so council approved 4 residential buildings near the roadway as far as possible from the wetlands. The developer has offered to donate the remaining portion of the property to expand the ESA. City Hall is also partnering with the Western Fair District, creating public recreation space inside the Expo Center.
3 gymnasiums, multi-courts in it, multi-purpose sports facility to try to relieve some of the pressure on our parks and recreation services.
City Hall will contribute $7.2 million, transforming part of the former Agriplex into a recreational space. Officials say the new gymnasiums will help meet growing demand for basketball, volleyball, pickleball, and badminton. The 25-year agreement is similar to the partnership that brought about the Western Fair 4-pad arena.
This will be a long-term partnership to provide more recreational space in the City of London. If we were to go out and do this build ourselves, it would be in excess of $30 million. So the partnership model not only saves money, but we expect to have this open in early 2027.
A key promise in yesterday's federal economic update, nearly $6 billion for developing skilled trades workers. With more on the funding and who will be affected, here's Adrian Gabriel.
The sturdiness and strength of the trades in Canada, in part, begins here.
Insulation, drywall, taping.
The founder and CEO of the Skilled Trades College, Ralph Cerasuolo, believes a large part of the country's future rests in the hands of his graduates.
The ratio of tradesmen that leave the workforce and that enter it is 7 to 1 across North America. So for every 7 that leave, it gets replaced with 1 individual, and that's a compounding problem year over year over year.
BuildForce Canada has estimated a potential labor shortage of 385,000 workers in the construction trades by 2034, with 20% of the current workforce expected to retire over the next decade. Devin Forbes is hoping to be part of the solution. As a student, he has his eye on becoming an HVAC specialist.
A lot of people feel stuck sometimes, and I feel like the trades is the way out.
Though Forbes wouldn't have been able to afford his tuition without receiving a scholarship from the private sector, he believes an influx of federal funding would help students like him achieve Red Seal status in the skilled trades.
The amount of things that I learn every day, that I feel every day when I wake up tomorrow, I know I'm doing better than I did yesterday.
Merci tout le monde. In this week's federal budget, Ottawa announced $5.9 billion over 5 years to recruit, train, and hire upwards of 100,000 new red-sealed skilled trades workers by 2031. Cerasuolo believes the multi-billion-dollar announcement speaks to just how desperate the shortage of trade workers has become.
Does nation building happen in Canada without the trades?
Absolutely not. You can't have one without the other.
Those here at the Skilled Trades College also tell us that an important component to filling the labor shortage gap is helping young Canadians understand that this is a highly respected professional career path vital to building Canada's future. Adrian Gabriel, CTV News, Woodbridge, Ontario.
Tomorrow on CTV News, e-biking under the influence, the rules of the road for motorized bicycles when consuming drugs or alcohol. That's tomorrow on CTV News at 6.
Temperatures on the cool side and well below normal for this time of year. That will continue into the early part of the weekend, but a bit of sunshine. We could see a passing shower Thursday into Friday. Overnight lows drop below freezing Friday into Saturday morning with some frosty conditions. Thank you so much, Sophie, for sending this photo in. This was taken north of Grand Bend.
President Donald Trump is pushing Iran to sign a deal to end the war, taking to social media, saying the Iranians don't know how to sign a non-nuclear deal. Meanwhile, the Iranians are warning of unprecedented military action against continued U.S. seizures of Iran-linked vessels. A ceasefire between the U.S., Israel, and Iran remains in place, but so does a U.S. blockade of Iranian ports and Iran's Strait of Hormuz blockade. CN Rail officials say they're seeing near-term benefits from the wider economic impacts of the Iran war. They credit higher energy and potash demands, among other commodities, working to their advantage despite higher fuel prices. First quarter profits were reported $1.15 billion, slightly lower than the same period last year. The families of mass shooting victims in Tumbler Ridge, British Columbia are suing OpenAI and its CEO, Sam Altman. The lawsuit accuses the tech company of identifying the shooter as a credible threat 8 months before the attack and failing to warn police. It also suggests OpenAI officials refrained from warning police for fear of exposing just how much violence-related conversations are taking place on ChatGPT, potentially jeopardizing the company's path to an initial public offering. The shooter killed 9 people, including several children, back in February. Millions of Canadians are now taking drugs like Ozempic primarily for weight loss and diabetes treatment, and that interest is expected to grow now that Health Canada has approved a low-cost generic version. However, increasing access is also leading to more questions about prescriptions and cost. Genevieve Beauchemin reports.
Months after Ozempic's patent expired, Health Canada has given a generic the go-ahead. And the approval of India's Dr. Reddy Laboratories' copy has been applauded by many patients and advocates.
And there hasn't been a whole lot of options.
Obesity Canada's Eaton Patton says for him, semaglutides have been life-changing.
I had this voice in the back of my head always chirping at me, talking about, with that uncontrollable food drive. And having a treatment that allows me to gain control has been very, very impactful.
Like Ozempic, says Health Canada, the generic injection is indicated for the once-weekly treatment of adults with type 2 diabetes. But around 3 million Canadian adults currently take medication like Ozempic for diabetes and obesity. Still, doctors say some patients who would benefit steer clear because of money. The drug costs about $228 a month. Health Canada says many generic medications are 45 to 90% cheaper than the brand versions. And that price could go down with more generics on the market. Health Canada is reviewing 8 other submissions. That could also reduce expenses for provincial and private drug plans deciding to cover the generic. Approval comes after an extensive review of the generic's chemical composition and effects, but does not require manufacturers to do long-term effect studies, for instance, on heart attacks and strokes.
Based on the assumption that if it looks the same, it has the same biochemical properties, it's chemically the same drug, it should have the same long-term effects.
Experts applaud accessibility, but also warn against minimizing potential side effects.
This is a drug. It's not a candy. It's not a supplement. It is a medication.
The generic dosage approved now is for the treatment of diabetes, but advocates are watching to see what other generics will come and what the impact will be on the costs. Genevieve Beauchemin, CTV News, Montreal.
A Toronto Blue Jays player is sharing a story of a loved one's overdose death, hoping to save lives. Davis Schneider has partnered with the manufacturer of Narcan nasal spray, telling the story of his brother, who was a nurse and an athlete. He died at the age of 26 from an overdose, and according to a statement from the company, Schneider believes someone with naloxone on hand could have saved his life. Schneider also says opioid overdoses affect people from all walks of life, and he wants to see naloxone become more widely available.
London's top stories.
We have breaking news tonight out of Ottawa. The latest on the
breaking news alerts.
I'm tracking an area of severe weather. It'll start.
And watch live.
A development now to a story from City Hall we brought you.
Download the CTV News app.
Finally tonight, a team taking over a school cafeteria trying to feed as many kids as possible. The facility had sat unused for years, but as Kimberly Johnson reports, that's no longer the case.
It's been years, but this school's kitchen is bustling once again.
Today is the mac and cheese that has the addition of some squash in it, which has become a favorite.
Chef Suzanne Neymenes is packing up hundreds of meals for a hot school lunch program using a school cafeteria kitchen at Regiopolis Notre Dame Catholic High School in Kingston that has sat here unused since the pandemic.
Something very different than this physical space is actually used to as well, so it's been fun.
The program is part of the Food Sharing Project, which has been providing kids in Kingston with nutritious food for decades and recently expanded to providing hot lunches. Organizers turned to Kingston school boards after a number of kitchens inside schools shut during the pandemic and never reopened because they weren't financially viable to run.
So there was no use being made of all of these very amazing commercial kitchens.
Moore says the school and Catholic board donated the space, as well as the deep cleaning it needed. The Food Sharing Project also upgraded the equipment.
We have been hearing so much about how hungry kids are at school, about how school coordinators are having to increase their orders every week because the kids are eating everything that they put out, and that kids are looking for something more hearty.
Now, more than 1,500 meals are prepared here each week for high school and elementary students. And officials say with 1 in 4 families facing food insecurity in this region, more students are signing up all the time.
There's more community being built in the cafeteria as well amongst students. Giving kids the opportunity to explore nutritious things, try new things, take risks. It's really important to ensure that students are fed so they're successful.
Kimberly Johnson, CTV News, Kingston.
That's it for us. Thanks for watching. For your latest local headlines, you can always head to our website. I'm back tonight with your late news at 11. Bye for now.